we're going to play a fun game. We're going to play the game that made me fall in love with wrestling in the first place, WCW versus NWO World Tour. Also, this is awkward. When I unlocked this league, I realized the logo's eerily similar to my logo for Wrestling with Regret. That was completely unintentional. I just want to let everyone know. I hate the fact that the song fades out as a rocking guitar solo is just starting. You hear fades out. Like, oh, that's sad. Okay, Sumo Joe. I forget what proxy this is supposed to be of. Like, what Japanese wrestler Sumo Joe is supposed to be, you know. Oh, he's supposed to be Tenju? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, I can see Tenju. Oh, that's terrible. Tenju. Come on. Let's cover him anyway. That's the finish. 1, 2. Yeah! I love it. Missed the elbow drop, pin him anyway. The hardest video I ever worked on. I think most of my music videos are kind of like a lot of work creatively and just like in post-production. It's one of the more, the music videos are the more difficult ones, but it's funny because they get me the least amount of reward or return. Like, especially like in terms of views and revenue, like my music videos, for all the creative input I have in that, it's just like, oh, look at that, boom. It, you know, never really sets the world on fire. Look at that. That was a cool finish. It's so funny because clearly somebody who's a writer in WWE is a Jim Spag fan because Yowie Wowie sounds very similar to Yowza, Bowza, Wowza, Holy Cowza, What's Happening Nowza, which was Jim Spag's trademark. I think Jim Spag is pretty much only known to people in like Portland and Atlanta. I think he was somewhere in Georgia doing stuff for cable access before he found his home in Portland doing the same thing, and he died actually in Portland. He actually was a mayoral candidate. Yeah, Jim Spag was a mayoral candidate in Portland. I forget what year it was, but it must have been before I wrestled. It must have been like 06 or 04 because he died the day of like the election, and I actually voted for him. So that was a wasted vote. A VPW2 edit cartridge buying off Etsy, affordable. Is it American N64 compatible? Because I've got Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 for the N64 or the Famicom equivalent, Japanese equivalent, but I don't have the modded N64. Because I want to mod it. I've seen how to do it online, but that just terrifies me. Yeah, open up your N64 and just carve out some plastic nubs, and then it'll be good to play in Japan. That's a risk I don't want to take. Yeah, I know it's like I'm not messing around with electronics, but it's like I feel like if I cut the wrong piece of plastic, it'll like irrevocably fuck up my N64. Is it hard to be a wrestling fan in this day and age? Well, I guess it depends on what you find difficult about being a wrestling fan. I don't think it's hard to be a wrestling fan now because wrestling is so easily accessible, like just from a viewership standpoint. You can watch it on literally any platform. If you're a wrestling fan who is female or of color or on the LGBT spectrum, that is, you know, it's always been a bad time. It's always been a hard time to be a wrestling fan. And you know, I've said before that, you know, it's like I've been pretty fortunate enough to be in pretty open, supportive locker rooms and stuff. And like I think that wrestling in general, especially locker rooms, are kind of a band of misfit toys. A lot of broken toys in wrestling locker rooms. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying like it has a very large diversity of kinds of people, all walks of life in most wrestling locker rooms. And I think locker rooms can be especially accepting. I think fandoms have that problem. I think there are definitely cases of, you know, harassment and stuff like that in wrestling among fan bases. And, you know, that can be difficult for anybody. One wrestler I've never understood the hype for. A lot of people are talking about Mojo Rawley in the chat section. I never got the hype for Mojo Rawley, but a lot of people didn't either. I think there's a lot of people at NXT who, like, I respect their abilities in the ring. I think they're great, like, technicians and everything. But, like, on a personality scale, like, they're way down. Like, I don't buy into them. Their characters aren't loud enough for me, you know? That's why I think Velveteen Dream resonates with so many people in a world full of Garganos and Strongs and Coles. My wife will look at a picture of, like, the Undisputed Era, and she's like, they're all the same guy. You know, because they all look the same. They all, you know, like small white dude with like the facial hair, and that's pretty much it. And they all wear matching tights. So, like, but Velveteen Dream's an anomaly. He's a character in a sea of like sports-centric characters, essentially. Man, I'm making all people tap out with like the most, you know, benign submissions. Do I consider myself to be a smark? It's a good question. I don't think I am. I mean, I have, you know, like the context and knowledge of a lot of things in wrestling. Like, oh, I understand backstage goings on. But I think what makes somebody a smark is to act like they really know what's going on. And I never try and act like I know what's going on. I just speculate. I think smarks, the key difference is cynicism and pessimism and skepticism. Those are things I try not to possess. I try and like be optimistic and silver linings as much as I can. How can I be a smart when I was trained by a wrestler? That I don't think me. I don't think you. I don't think you. I don't think it's mutually exclusive to be a smart and a wrestler. I think that's or somebody in the business. I think you can be kind of smart and smarky if you're in the business. But I think perspective is key. I think perspective and reflection and like understanding what's causing a lot of these, you know, biases and your opinions on things. No one ever shot on me. Like there was a couple times where like one dude in particular would kind of like rib me in the ring, and like his chops in general were super like painful and loud, and that affected everybody, not just me. But no, I don't think there's ever any shooting going on. Will AEW use managers and valets? I sure hope so. I'm looking at you, AEWs. I think WWE needs more managers and characters. Like, I think managers themselves, like, the traditional depiction of what a manager is kind of hokey, which is why I try and go out of my way to not do that so much. Like, I think, and I might be wrong, but I'd like to think that my influencer character today is different from the stereotypical wrestling manager because mine comes from a place of truth. You know, you'll see like managers wearing like the sequined jackets, like I'm a millionaire. I'm like, okay, like, are you though? Like, you know, why are you getting 10% or 15% of your wrestler's ticket, purse? I don't think you are, you know. But with me, it's like I'm reflecting off of my success on YouTube, and that's the whole crux of my character, is someone who's obsessed with YouTube fame. And I think it works so much better than people who try and be Bobby Heenan or try and be Jim Cornette, you know? I don't try and be Jim Cornette. I just look like him. I have the fortunate or unfortunate distinction of just looking like Jim Cornette. Did I ever cast a vote for the Diva Search contestants? I think I did. I seem to recall voting for like the twins who were also the Juggies on the Man Show at the time, or after that. Yeah, I seem to recall voting for those girls. Like 1 week, I got sick of it. Like this is boring because like I tried to call multiple times and vote, and that was just annoying. Good Lord, stay down. One more for the road. One of the dumbest wrestling conspiracies I've ever heard. You know, it's funny. I actually hung out with MVP. I'll be picking that name I just dropped. I hung out with MVP WrestleMania weekend. This past month, and it reminds me of like one of the funniest fucking inside stories I ever heard. The rumors that was like totally bogus was allegedly MVP attached to Triple H with a screwdriver backstage. I meant to ask him about that just to see like that was stupid, wasn't it? The more I think about it, the less I really want to try and run a live show in Vegas because it's competing with not only everything else happening that weekend for StarCast, which is amazing, but also it's like, even if I'm trying to do it not those times, like, who's going to want to hang out, you know, Vegas on a Saturday or a Friday night and, like, watch a shitty wrestling movie? WrestleCon was fun. I'll definitely try and shoot StarCast stuff. Absolutely. Like, I don't want to miss out on that like I did with WrestleCon. Do I have a Discord? No, I'm not entirely sure what a Discord is. I've heard a lot of things about what Discord is, but I'm an old man. I don't know. Was Kid Rock more deserving than Cyndi Lauper in the Hall of Fame? That's a bit of a loaded question, because that implies Kid Rock also deserves it. You know, I think that, well, you know, for what they said, I think Kid Rock is kind of like deserving. It's like, but Celebrity Hall of Fame wings are rarely like what's deserving. It's like who has a tangential connection to wrestling or WWE that we can exploit for PR. That's pretty much all the celebrity wing is. And so Kid Rock going in like made sense in that respect. Cyndi Lauper makes a lot of sense. I mean, we may never know why, you know, she hasn't been inducted yet. Yeah, I think deserving is weird because wrestling's not a meritocracy. It's about who can draw the most business, who can make money, who can sell merch. You know, that's all it is. Which baffles the hell to me that Baron Corbin's there in the first place. Am I right? Zing! Unique Persona 13, $2. Super chat asking for me to do Otis commentary for this match. Tucky! Tucky! Taking weights! Tucky! Big guys! Big guys hit each other, Tucky! Pretty lady! Pretty lady, Tucky! What about changing Backlash to Stomping Grounds? I don't care. A pay-per-view name is a pay-per-view name. Like, the best part's to hear them try and put those names over. Oh shit, Scott Steiner versus Sumo Joe. He's fat! Can I do an impression of Scott taking an order at Shoney's? I've never been to a Shoney's. I don't know what they even serve. Is it pizza? Yeah, I'd like to have 2 large pizzas with all the cheese. Ha! All the sausage. Ha! Lots of meat. Get a lot of meat on that. See, on the pizza. Ha! No fat asses are eating my pizza today. Ha! See, if you split a pizza with me, you have a 50-50 chance of having pizza. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So when I have a pizza at Shoney's, I get 141 and 2/3 chance of that pizza. Oh, it's a buffet. Okay. Finally. The World Heavyweight Champion Grand Championship title match against Joe Bruiser, the Muhammad Ali proxy. Kermit the Frog in Hall of Fame. Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. That's actually a thing he did. For like, I think it was one of the Muppet shows. He did like a David Byrne impression. And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. And you may find yourself in another part of the world. And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile with a beautiful house and a beautiful wife. And you may say to yourself, well, how did I get here? Kermit the Frog cut Austin 316. You sit there and you thump your Bible and it didn't get you anywhere. You talk about your Psalms, talk about your John 3:16. Kermit 316 says, yay! History beckons the macho frog. Oh yeah. It was me. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Yay! I need to find a transcript of the Fun with Ahmed promos. Listen up, punk. Just make sure. Juice makes sugar. If you want to stamp up the punchy, bake it off. That riddle asked potty ignored can't possibly be given. I'm in a real bad mood. I did it for the rock. I did it for the people. Why are you not selling shit, Joe Bruiser? Take this flop kick. Floppity floppity kick. Oh, boom. Finally. It took an hour 15 to get through that. Where to, Stephanie? John Cena, while you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you can possibly be, I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this because before I leave in 3 weeks with your WWE Championship, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I hate this idea that you're the best, because you're not. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. There's one thing you're better at than I am. That's kissing Vince McMahon's ass. Ah, Hulk Hogan. Excuse me, Hulk Hogan. What in the world are you thinking? That's my Fozzie impression, sorry. Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I've got to say. The first thing you got to realize, brother, this right here is the future of wrestling. You can call this the new world order of wrestling. For 2 years, brother, for 2 years I held my head high. I did everything for the charities. I did everything for the kids. And the reception I got when I came out here, you fans can stick it, brother. I think some people take comedy and wrestling, they don't like it because like they try and keep telling themselves that wrestling is like this legitimate sport and comedy sullies it somehow, which I don't think is true. I think my favorite things in wrestling have been like the combinations of like athletic prowess and comedy. Like one of my favorite tag teams of all time, Edge and Christian, no question. I don't even know what the hell Ray beat him with. He beat him with a friggin' arm wrench flip. That's all it was. I love comedy. The stuff that Russo was doing, like when he was showing more of his character with Lana, like giving her a gimmick. It's a fish. No, Summer Rae. He gave Summer Rae the fish. That shit was hilarious. Rusev Day was funny. You know, like I love that stuff, man. I loved Kurt Angle in his prime when he was the goofy heel in his first year or so. God, it was amazing. Like, so yeah, I love comedy in my wrestling. I do. I don't think that should be like the focus. Like, I think you can have variety unless you are a comedy wrestling show, which there's some of that out there. But I think you can have balance. And I think like the idea that Cornette said funny don't make money. I agree that maybe making a comedy wrestler in the main event scene might be detrimental. But they have to have the athletic ability to back it up, like Kurt Angle did, for example. He was a goof, but he was a very competent goof. Eugene was actually kind of on that border as well because he was a comedy act, and he had some funny moments and stuff, but he was a very talented wrestler. I don't think Eugene would have gotten as over as he was if he couldn't wrestle, because part of the crux of his character was he's a savant essentially. Like, yeah, he's mentally he's not all with it, but man, can he wrestle? And like that's the hook. That's what hooks you in. So you can be funny, but you have to be good too in the ring. Have I ever been to a Las Vegas Golden Knights NHL game? I've never been to a hockey game. Period. What did you win with? Oh, you win with the back suplex. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen hockey live in person. Hockey's not my bag. Ask R. Felix Finch about hockey. That's his thing. He's a big Sharks fan. Every year around this time, I gotta see him live tweet and live put on Facebook every single freaking everything that happens in the hockey games. No offense, Felix. I'm sure that you have friends who care about hockey. I'm just not one of them. Boy, what are the odds that the two hardest to get friggin' hidden characters in this game are the final two in this tournament? Shit, she's wrecking my stuff right now. Oh my god. Ah! Get me out of here! What happened? Stop it! Stop it! Mean lady! Boom! That's it! That's it, she's out! She's out! Oh man! See, he took his licks. He rope-a-doped her. Yeah, Manami Toyota kicked the crap out of Muhammad Ali. But ultimately he wins the day. He is the champion. He wins a special trophy. Because it's a tournament victory.